we are hearing you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we are online. Over to Prerna.
Okay, so we'll start, if I can start with myself, about this Nature publication subscription that we were talking about earlier. So I just wanted to notify that the first copy or in print has been received, and I checked for the online thing. So the exact same copy is available online with full access to anybody who wants to have access to it. I can forward the link.
Really? So,
Yes.
for example, can I use the link and then read all the material that nature
Yes, yes,
offers? Really? Oh,
yes, yes, of
very
course
good.
you can. And
So
you don't
can
need
you
any
forward this to me?
login details.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect. I'm
yes.
gonna be very
So,
happy, very glad if you forward me the link.
yes, yes, I'll surely do that.
I just suggest that you don't openly post the link and send it to only
Okay.
people who ask for it within the Biblio editors group. So, for example, Thailand has asked for it, and so
Mm-hmm.
please share it with him, but do not openly publish the link because
No, but I,
yeah.
I think it's an open access link. It did not ask for my login details.
All the more reason we shouldn't send a open access, like we shouldn't post it to everybody
Mm-hmm.
because that's prone to abuse. So just send the link
Okay,
to the Biblio editors who ask for it specifically. For
okay,
example, Thailand
okay,
to begin with. Yeah.
okay,
Thank you,
okay, fair
Prerna.
enough. No, no worries. So, I also wanted to ask about Vito, who is one of the editors in the group. So if Amit bhai, you can shed some light on his level of participation, because I have been assigning entries to his name. So I wanted to know how frequently is he available to contribute.
Right, right. Well, the truth is, Vito has not contributed or gotten like fully involved in the big at all ever.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
he had promised and he had accepted. I mean, we had a chat where we explained the product and planthro in general, and we had Andre and I had more than one chat. Uh,
mm-hmm,
we could never get like a participation, and this is only become more obscure or less now because earlier we were receiving replies to the emails and we were speaking with Vito, but now he's off the radar. I know for a fact that
mm-hmm,
he was based in Manila, Philippines, where he
mm-hmm,
had an academic position, and he has moved to Australia. I don't know which city, but mostly Melbourne or Sydney in Australia. He's moved there on an academic position, and
mm-hmm,
the last we heard from him is that that is what is keeping him extra busy, even more busy than he was in Philippines. And
mm-hmm.
for all practical considerations, I would tend to think that we should. I mean, as of now, we should not count him in the editors group.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
will,
So,
I will still keep the dialogue, and I make a note of this point, Prerna, and I
mm-hmm.
will get in touch with. I will try to get in touch with Vito once again to get an exact picture of his availability.
Okay. So, in that case, who should I assign those entries to? Probably Pallavi can take them over, or Thailand.
I think I have a lot in the pipeline right now. Maybe I need to clear a bit.
Right,
Okay, okay. So, I'll try to take care of them. Let's see how far we can go.
right. I mean, it's a matter of the bandwidth, and I see that we may have. I mean, the workflow remains the same. The bandwidth might reduce because Vito or and we can continue to look for more people. I am of the opinion that we need something like one, if not two, editors
Mhm.
to kind of get the volume, yeah, and quality,
Mhm.
in 2019. Yes.
And could you get through Shrishti, or
So
the manager of the firm who brought her in?
yeah, so I spoke with them. I wrote a message to Srishti manager, whose name is Sumer, and I
Hmm.
did not. I just only got an acknowledgement of my message, but not really a reply on the status. And I make a note again, Prerna, to your point, uh,
Hmm.
that I will get in touch with the uh, uh, Srishti's manager, academic manager, again, Sumir, and get a clear answer.
So that
Yeah. Normally, it's, I also treat these internships as, I mean, they're obviously mutually beneficial. So if we get an answer, let's clearly move on to define useful for us, as small as it takes, but useful for us and useful for Srishti, sort of very well defined project, so that there is no ambiguity. And whether, and let's also define, for example, the kind of interaction we will have. Like, for example, will it be one phone call in a week, or one video chat in 2 weeks, or whatever it is. And so yeah, so I will also try to get that sorted this time around.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about Maninder Singh Soin.
Yes.
So earlier this week, Thailand, I had emailed Amit Bhaiya regarding contacting somebody who is on India's government panel for ecotourism and about sustainable tourism. So he leads a firm which who go on these expeditions to Antarctica, and he has himself been an ex-mountaineer. So if there is, he again falls into this category of high-profile people. Like we had talked about Mr. Somebody from UN last time.
Yes.
So we have to like have a well-placed policy. I've reached out to him, written him an email that we would be happy to collaborate with him.
Right.
So I wanted to know that if we can have like a basic standard policy on what exactly we want from these high-profile people for planthro, like in what ways, in what capacities can they contribute?
Right. So, well, I think when we speak about these people, of a certain acclaim, we should not only think about BIBLIO, but we should think about planthro in general, which is already clear to you. Is what you also mean. I see, and what we are looking is actually, of course. So our starting tendency has been, I think we need to define this better. To begin with, planthro like started from zero, right? So the idea was to get a yes from people on whatever they can say yes to, very tactically. So we reached out. If we give a offer of coming to an advisory board, right, or becoming a director and a direct participant in planthro in some ways, we define the entire spectrum of our activity, and not only the projects which are the biblio opinions, exchange and analytics and wiki, not only those, but we also define planthro as and not only the events and everything, but also planthro as a whole, as a non-profit organization, as a corporation, like not for as a corporate entity, as a legal entity, as a networking opportunity, and so on and so forth, right? So not only from its projects, but also its corporate side, and but also, for example, fundraising, right? Fundraising is the most critical, and we've been lagging behind on that. And but it's not an easy ask. You can't really ask a stranger to get involved and help planthro get funds. It's just not going to happen. It has to start from insiders. Uh, I mean to say, this effort. But our tendency right in the beginning had been to go with an open conversation and assess on the go to what the person will say yes to, right? And then propose something so that we obtain a yes rather than a no, right? So no point giving people everything, offering people everything. No point offering people everything, because that's gives an impression that we don't have a clarity. But it's a sort of a little tricky business where you assess the other person's availability. Also, if you give person a very tangible task, for example, Vito, right? He's not able to do it. So in turn, we just got a no from him. And when we hear a no, normally in a conversation like this, it's like an end of conversation. You cannot say, okay, you can't do this, so can you do that, right? So the idea is to kind of get foot in the door and get a yes from. So the simplest we've been obtaining from people is an endorsement, so that can we publish to the world that you acknowledge us and support us and like our work. That's it. You know what I mean? If there is somebody who we expect is going to be very busy, is going to be like hardly involved with us, we start to at least first join the two names together, planthro and that person. Say, so the only thing is that we present everything, and if we expect that the person is not going to be, if we are hesitating, or if the person is hesitating, the least task could be that, okay, so can we kind of sort of publish your endorsement, maybe a very brief one sentence, that you recognize the effort being put in, and you like the direction. At the same time, if you have any suggestions for us, so that's very helpful, and we will definitely incorporate that. We definitely need that. And thirdly, can we reach out to you from time to time? Because it's, so that it's just not one time, and sometime or the other in the future, we are able to actively reach out to the person, say, hey, we are looking for this networking opportunity, or entrance to that event, or a conference of some sort, or or we invite you to some forum at a later stage or something. So like, just progressively you can increase the person's agenda. So for example, Vidur, when I started speaking with Vidur, right, I mean, it was very small, and then later on he agreed to be on the advisory board. Now 2019 has been a very slow year, but whatever he agreed on, has been very very useful. It gives us a sort of a marketing perspective on things. Spends active amount of his time to look at these, to look at, let's say, a marketing offering for plants. So I think that we should be patient, that in the future the relationship can grow, but right now we must definitely start the relationship by having a yes on a little bit, uh, and that's my actually long answer to, and vague answer, actually. It is a vague business, I think.
Yeah, I think eventually we'll get there with experience.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, Thailand, do you have any concerns, anything to share with us?
No, that's me.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe if we have some time, I'll tell you about Iti's meeting with Mr. Thomas Egley.
Yes, yes, please.
So Mr. Thomas Egley is a consultant to the Economic and Social Council of United Nations, and he has he has several affiliations. He's worked in area of not only human rights, and but nature, and human rights, and like it's been a like a interdisciplinary sort of area. He is also starting a non-profit, which is Objective Sciences International. I'm yet to learn fully the nature and scope of his non-profit, but he wants to start that in United States. So Iti opened four agendas with Mr. Egley, and I'm going to go through the list that she sent. One is planthro opinions, where we are looking to start the expert opinions website, and he seemed willing and interested in it. So maybe if he has a ready piece that he wants to publish, once again, uh, and by now we may have some critical mass of some pending articles. So actually, after all the wait, planthro opinions may begin with more than one articles directly. So we'll be in touch with Mr. Agli regarding that. And we are looking for volunteers, and Mr. Agli, in his meeting with Iti, also offered to post an ad on the UN website, where we may attract some volunteers from around the world. So this will be like not really a UN position, but of course a side position, side advertisement, where people who go to UN website to look for volunteering opportunities or internship opportunities might have a chance to look at this as well. So he offered that, and we have to kind of develop that and have a proper let's say advertisement in place. Also, what kind of skill sets and requirements and experience we are looking for. One of them is BIBLIO once again, where and so I'll prepare this and kind of run it through you, Prerna, to see if it looks good.
Sure.
Advisory, and Iti also discussed the advisory with Mr. Egley in the sense, if we can kind of create we can we can attach BIBLIO's name to his name, and so again we have to. This was just the first meeting, and we'll have to kind of take it up. More than one person will have to be on the call. Maybe Andrea is already in touch with him, so maybe Iti and I can together give him the next round of call. To see how to proceed, and the last is the organization that he's head, the Objective Science International. He wants to register this as a non-profit in US, and create educational summer camps and newsletters and so on. And this is where actually I'm thinking can be our offering. We can share some of our experiences, so that's useful to him. So it's like a symbiotic relationship, because we have already done that. So maybe I can and Madhura can get in touch with Mr. Egley, and if he has any questions on how to go about it, and what is the basic procedure, and we did everything ourselves. So maybe our experience will be helpful to him as well. So all this I'm planning to take up along with Iti and required people from Planthro after 10th of May when I reach Luxembourg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Certainly. This looks like a great networking opportunity, even if we don't reach the opinion page, which is yet to be published. But I think it's very important for Planthro to be known by people who represent themselves at United Nations, because at least we spread the word that we exist.
Right. As the last thing for today from my side, after 10th of May, Prerna, the long wait of making small changes, small improvements to BIBLIO will also get action. I've already in touch. I've already started my conversation again with Amit Onkare, and after 10th of May when I reach Luxembourg, I will do this on. There will be like a tangible progress. You can ask me question. I'll be able to give you answers of what we actually did on a almost on a daily basis regarding the improvement needed. And right now you pointed to something which are rather small. It's just that it hasn't been done. So I expect that soon after 10, this whole thing will begin once again, the technical improvements.
Great. So that's it from my side. Anything else that we need to discuss before we wrap it up?
No, that's it from me. Thanks for this chat.
Thank you. Thank Prerna. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you
Right.
so much.
I'll publish this meeting and send you the link.
Sure. And I'll forward the Nature's link to Thailand.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.